Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the lesson number 20. The last one before we are going to do the corresponding final tests. Photo 1, Friday, January 15th, 2021. Lesson 20, new words. Cement, with the accent here. Cement. Screw. Nail, remember that is also this one, no? Fingernail, toenail, nail. Screwdriver, hammer, a pair of pliers. Saw. Definitions: to adapt, adapted, adapted. As far as I'm concerned, referring that you have a limit that something worries you about. To care, cared, cared. Photo 2. Concerned, that is worry, interested in. To disagree, disagreed, disagreed. Easier said than done is an expression, you know? Sometimes it's easier said than done. For example, that I will buy a car the next week. Fair. In this lesson, meaning this one, but also remember this meaning. For a good cause. This is what Teletón does. They raise money for a good cause. Group. For heaven's sake is an expression. But here we can use any number, any name. For example, here, for the children's sake, this apostrophe is not pluralizing because this one is an irregular noun. It's part of the expression. For my friends' sake, for my family's sake. For nothing, in this lesson number 20, is referring that you are doing a job without pay, no salary. For very little, just for some salary, not too much. And uncertainly, when you have a lot of doubts. Thank you. Photo 3. Hard word. For example, la colonial, hard word. To interrupt or to interrupt. I prefer the first one. Interrupted, interrupted. Lumberyard, where they sell woods. To mind your own business. Opinion. I think it's incorrect. In my opinion, could you please correct this one, please? Orphanage, out to, personally, to raise money, responsibility, here with it. Irresponsibility, room, that is place. The way I see it, tool. Sorry, correction here. Opinion is ready. Photo 4, lesson 20, grammar notes. Auxiliary verb, ought to. We use ought to as a synonym, or the same way we use should to indicate obligation or advice. Ought to is more formal than should. Usually, we don't use ought to in questions or in negative sentences. We use should, shouldn't. Example, should he study harder? Yes, he ought to. No, he shouldn't. Yes, he ought to study harder. No, he shouldn't study harder. Thanks. Okay, open your student book. Lesson number 20, the new words. And what I want you to do is to say sentences like always you do, one for you, one for your friend, until you finish all the new words. I'm going to give you an example. I am looking forward to have all my groups here in the classroom as soon as possible. Thank you. Excuse me, I am going to explain you something that I forgot before finishing the grammar notes, and it's this. We use ought to with first a singular person and plural person, I or we, but always if it is expressing a strong obligation or a strong advice of suggestion. Thank you. Okay, before reading the lesson number 20, listen to the audio, and then one of you, it's going to be the speaker 1, the speaker 2, 3, and 4. After finishing, read the mini conversations 1, 2, and 3, and ask the questions, about the conversation. Thank you. Exercises of page number 143. A. Tell what you need from the hardware store. Use I ought to buy and just the new words. For the exercise B, complete the sentences. This is a very good exercise. For example, if you are a child without parents, you may have to live in an orphanage. So write the number 1 here, next to the letter C. Okay, before doing the grammar summary, using auxiliary verb ought to. We use ought to like should to show obligation and advice. We usually don't use ought to in questions or in negative sentences. The difference here is that we use ought to with a strong obligation and advice using I and you. But if you are going to use, for example, in this case, he, is because in this case is explaining that to study more is an obligation. Remember that should is expressing a suggestion. Suggestion and ought to, obligation and advice. And this is what I want you to do. Complete the sentences using ought to or shouldn't. Remember, a strong obligation or advice and a suggestion. And use the same here using the cue book chart number 8 and just change what is underlined. If you see, right here we are using the city. The city ought to have the light change because it's a strong obligation. Yes, they ought to, no, they shouldn't. Can you see? Here is expressing a suggestion, and here an obligation. Thank you. Okay, let's open the questions book. Lesson number 20. First, listen to the questions and then answer the questions with long answers. Thank you. Look for this oral practice lesson number 18 and do just the questions from number 25 to 29. If an artist friend gave me a large original painting that was ugly, I will put it in the bathroom, for example. Thank you. Okay. Because this is the last lesson of the book number 2, let's do the talk about yourself from the lesson number 6 to number 20. I recommend you to review the new words before doing each exercise, and just go, Talk about the things that you can get used to. I can get used to get up early in the morning. And I also can get used to go to San Jose downtown especially nowadays with the pandemic, etc. Thank you. Sorry, because I said book number 2, and now you finished the book number 3. And so wait for my instructions, and I'm going to be explaining the syllables and the dates that we are going to be doing the corresponding exams for certificate, the book number 3, and with the favor of God, start the book number 4. Have a good night.